Damn. Uh. Yeah. Uh. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to the next video on creating a map in R or RStudio. So in the last video, which I'll put a link to in the top right hand corner, we went over installing a package, the Leaflet package, loading that package in, and then just the very basic components. So creating a variable called Leaflet and telling it that you wanted to add the map tiles, the generic map tiles. So the next step, we actually want to add in some information or points to our map, as most people would. I mean, like, it's nice to have this, I guess, but you would want your personal information um, or whatever you're using this for, your business, your research, anything. You want to add your own information. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I have some data that I got that was it was just it's just made up data. It comes from a website called mockaroo.com. I'll put a link in the description below. You can you can put in any kind of variables, a wide range of variables that you would like in a mock or pretend set of data, and it'll spit out all of this fake data for you to just play around with, so you can use it and maybe get used to something like this project that we're working on. Okay, so because of that, we're going to need to use um, a different package that is already in, it should come preloaded with our, it's called the SP package. Um, and we're just going to add it to current our current project. Um, so you just add another library function, and we call the SP function this time. I actually do have a sample bit of code that um, allows you to just list initially all the packages you want, and it will install them and then load them in as well. Um, and it'll do it all automatically for you, so that you don't have to type out library function leaflet library function SP, because sometimes you could have like 20 to 30 packages in one script, and you don't want to necessarily have to type that out every time. Anyway, so this set of data is right here. It's called mock.data CSV. Okay, so in order to bring that in, I'm going to write all this before the map, because this is, I guess this would be the step you would take probably before you actually start writing your leaflet code, like down here. But the last video, I just wanted to show you guys that you can do it and it's super easy. So now that we've loaded in the SP, I think I loaded it in. There we go. Now I have. Now that we've loaded it, and actually I'm going to need to reload in leaflet as well. I can check my packages and type in leaflet, see it's been checked, type in SP and see that that's been checked as well. So that's good. So what we'll need to do is bring in our CSV file. So I'm just going to name a variable. I'm going to call it data. Okay. And it's going to equal the, I'm going to use the read.csv function. Okay. And we're just going to call in, we're just going to call in the actual file. So the file name down here is mock_data, all caps. So mock_data, and it's important to have the .csv or else it will not work. Again, control enter, there it is. Cool thing now, I can actually click on this little icon here and get a table view of all the information. And once again, just to be clear, this is completely fake data, all made up with a random generator. So don't worry about any kind of personal information being shared here. So we have this data table now, and one of the issues with it is we actually have some missing values. I wasn't going to include this, but I feel like the people watching this video or using it as a reference, you guys are gonna get lots of information, but you're gonna end up sometimes with data that has missing values. Okay, and this is important to know how to deal with them and what you want to do with them. So what we're gonna do for this is I'm gonna find, there was one somewhere. there, trying to find it on here so you guys can get the visual of it. I just had it up, I swear. Oh, there we go. So right here, we have Kelly. Come on, Kelly. Arthur Kelly? Arthur Kelly. Come on, Arthur Kelly. Male, lives in Zenhai. Um, oh no, I'm reading the wrong one. Oh man. Roy Howell. All right. Roy Howell did not give us his latitude and longitude. Whether that was him, whether that was the program that was supposed to grab it, or he had his privacy settings on, blah, blah, blah. We were able to get his income, but we couldn't get his location. This can screw up your data later on. What you need to make sure is you know what you're going to do with this. Are you going to try to find a workaround and try and just guess and just put in a latitude longitude based on their city? Are you going to take that data away completely? Or is there another path that your employer or whoever you've been contracted to work for, or your professor, or whatever you're doing, is there a different plan? For the purpose of this video, we're just going to get rid of it. So I'm going to create another variable. I'm actually going to name it the exact same thing. So right now, we're going to write over top of this. You might not always want to do that. You might want to make it like a data one so that you can always go back to this table later. I'm just doing this because it's less complicated with the amount of variables that you have in there in your environment. Okay, so I'm gonna call the previous data variable, right? Because this one isn't in effect yet. Okay, so I'm calling our variable data, and I'm going to run the complete.cases function, and we're going to run it on data. Okay, and you have to have a little comma here. That's just one of those weird things. I could explain it to you, or you can look it up if you like. Go ahead, by all means, but you'll just need that. I'm going to hit Control Enter. Okay, and we can see that there was a change. So I'll go back here. I'm going to hit Read CSV again. See how it says 1,000 observations? Okay, and now I hit this again, and there's 2 less. Okay, so there was actually 2 people that had missing values. So we got rid of those cases. So we don't have to worry about that problem anymore. Okay. So the next step, we need to make this spatial data. I mean, we have in our table that there are latitudes and longitudes, but we need to make this a data frame and make it a spatial data frame. So I'm going to say that data, long, so longitude, and you can see here that's the name of the column, okay, is going to equal the as.numeric function, and it's going to equal data long. This may seem kind of redundant, but what this does is this ensures that that column is a number column, not a text character column or something else that would confuse the computer down the road. So I've run that. So we're going to do the same thing for latitude. Okay, so latitude as.numeric and data lat. Okay, Control Enter. There we go. The next thing I'm going to do is where the SP package comes in. So we're going to name a new variable data.sp. Okay. What we're doing here is creating a new um, spatial points data frame. And we're literally going to type that out. So spatial points data frame. There we go. So we're running this we're going to run this function, and inside of it we need to tell it where to find the spatial information from our table. Okay, so we want it to find the our coordinates inside of our data variable, right? And where inside of the data variable, we're gonna tell it that it's in columns 8 and 9. Okay, so that's the lat and long, or I think lat and long. It might be long and lat. Yep. So lat and long. So you want to make sure on your data table, whatever it is, that the I'm gonna write 8 and 9, but you want the first number to be um, oops, I need to put it inside of a, there we go. The first number is going to be your latitude, and the second number is going to be your longitude. Okay. Um, and then we're going to do it again. So another comma, and we're going to call data one more time. Okay. And we're gonna call the negatives of this. So negative C. It just means a list from 8 and 9. Okay. So once again, all we're saying is we're going to take our data table, CSV. It's just a sheet of, imagine just a sheet of paper right now. That's all it does. And we're going to turn it into a magical spatial points data frame that will allow us to map things. And where are we going to get that spatial data from? Well, we're going to get it from column 8 and 9 and the negatives of column 8 and 9 too. Okay. So these are kind of like the bounds, like the boundaries. So I'm going to run this line. All right. Now you can see up here, we have a value data.sp that we want and a formal class, a spatial points data frame. That's perfect. Okay. So now we go back into our previously written code where we have M with leaflet and add tiles, and I can run this and it'll be the exact same map that you guys saw before, right? Nothing really there. But I want to add in this data now, okay? So I'm going to run another pipette symbol, okay? Control Shift M for those of you who did not see the video, the first video in this tutorial, and are just skipping ahead. I know I've done that with plenty of video tutorials before, so don't worry. And we're going to run a function called add markers. Okay, it should pop up there for you. Inside of here, we're going to list. This might be a little bit confusing. I'm going to do data equals data, but just to clarify, this is a variable that will always be inside of the add markers function. We named our data, okay? So if I named this Brent because that's my name and that's the variable name that I chose for it, then I would go here and call this Brent, right? So I just don't want you guys to get too confused with this. You could do the data.sp. It should work either way. But we created the spatial points data frame for future purposes. It won't really be used in this video. So now we need to tell it where to add the markers. So we're going to run the lng variable that just stands for longitude, okay? And we're going to make it equal to, and this is where it gets nice and easy. You insert this symbol here. It's usually beside the number 1 on your keyboard. You hit Shift there, and it gives you that little symbol. And you just have to type long, because inside of this this variable, we have a column of longitudes. So it's just, this symbol just means, hey, go through that entire table and grab it and make a point for every single longitude value that there is. Okay, and we're going to do the exact same thing for latitude, as I'm sure that you guessed. So lat equals lat. Okay, so the only thing you got to watch out for is you make sure that this is spelled properly from wherever it is you're referencing in your table. It just happens to be long in mine. You could have longitude, you can have uh, latitude for this instead of lat. You can name it whatever you want, as long as you know that those represent longitude and latitude. Okay. And the last thing that I'm going to do is I want the user to be able to click on my icon and get some information. So I want them to get the information off of the first name of my data table. And I'm only using first name because um, it's exactly how it's spelled there. That's why it's spelled like this. There's no special trick. If the first name column was just labeled name, I would literally just write name there. Okay. So this should work. I mean, funnier things have happened. I'm just, oh, good. Nice little error there. Highlight that and hit enter. Error in expression, long not found. You know what? I might be wrong here. Let's see if this works. There we go. So yeah, so just use your data variable. We're not going to use the SP1 for now. Okay. So we've created this. Now for the magic where we print our map again. Okay. So let's go over, have our cursor over the M, and we're going to say, hey, run that variable. Control enter. And hey, this is a cluster of information. But again, this is what happens when you have like weird fake data. But just to show you guys how cool this is, I can go here, I can click, hey, Christopher. Look at that, Christopher. All right. There's Jonathan. Juan is right there. Kathleen. So that's pretty cool. Now, let's say I don't want that information up and I want to see, I don't know, I want to see income. Really simple. Okay. You just replace this with the name of the income column. Okay. So I can hit run again. It runs that whole thing nice and smooth. And let's reprint our variable, the map. Here it is. And I'll just click and you can see it's showing income. In probably not the next video, but the next few, I'm going to get really get into how to style your map. So right now I'm just showing you the basic functionality, but probably in the next couple videos, I will show you guys how you can actually customize your markers themselves and customize the little pop-up window here that comes up, because there's some pretty cool things that you can do for that as well. Anyway, thank you for watching the second tutorial video in this series. If you liked the video, please click like. If you didn't like it, you can hit dislike, but leave a comment in the comment box below and let me know what you guys thought. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button so that you can know when the next video is posted right away. Okay, see you next time.